Welcome back to Jersey Matters. In 2010, Governor Christie famously put a cap on superintendents of schools in the state, saying they shouldn't make more than he makes. Now they're talking about rescinding that cap. And a man that is all in favor of that is Dr. Richard Bozza, who is the executive director of New Jersey's Association of School Administrators. Thank you so much for being here, sir. I appreciate it.
My pleasure to join you.
I know I put that pretty simply. It's not as simple as that.
No, it's not.
Explain the cap and what they're talking about.
Well, we're going from a series of caps that were implemented in 2011, actually, where there were 6 categories based on the enrollment of the district population, and also exempting some categories of superintendents. The proposed changes that we see going into effect in the new year would shrink the number of categories to 3 categories and increase essentially the caps that were in place by the cost of living since they were first implemented. And so they've been a negative factor, and candidly, I think now that the governor and the commissioner realize some of the negative effects that we certainly talked about when they first proposed these caps.
And to your point that they realize this, that it might have been a mistake, they wouldn't come out and announce that they want to raise the cap and get rid of the old cap if they didn't realize there was a negative effect from the state.
Oh, absolutely. There was actually legislation sponsored, passed in the Senate, was being considered in the Assembly to put to the governor's desk. However, discussion along the way helped to realize that this turnover of superintendents, the loss of that continuity in the chief education officer, was a significant factor.
So is this it? Is it done? Can he just announce that and it happens?
Well, and it's with any code change, there's a proposal, and that proposal goes forward. It's now being published this month in December in what's called the Register. There are then public hearings in January, 3 regionally, 1 north, central, and south. They'll take additional input, and then the final code proposal will be placed most likely in March of 2017.
I would imagine that most people in the public are saying, look, I don't make that kind of money. Why are we giving them that kind of pay increase when the state is suffering through pension problems and budget problems? Why are we doing this?
Well, I would argue that we don't need to cap it all for a number of reasons. First of all, we have the school board members elected by their constituents to take a look at all salaries. This is the only position in the entire school district that school boards don't have any discretion over in terms of what the total compensation would be. We also have a cap on taxes, 2% tax levy, so it doesn't affect the taxpayer. We also have a cap on administrative spending within the budget. And within these economic conditions that we have, people are certainly going to be responsible. But perhaps even most importantly, any contract for a school superintendent has to be approved by the state of New Jersey. So there's really not a blank check, if you will. And so when we've lost people to other states, when we've had a lack of continuity, when we've seen the pool of interim superintendents, essentially retirees, take the place for a year to 2 or more in school districts, people have looked around and said, look, this loss of having the person at the head of the school district, having them turn over so much, is really not good in terms of everything that's happening for children in the district.
So your argument is you just need to be able to compete. So you need to be able, if you have a great superintendent that says, hey, I'm going to Maryland because they're going to pay me more money, you should be able to raise the salary as you see fit.
It's actually worse than that, and I'll tell you why. There are people who are in the district who could be great superintendents who won't even apply for the job because they'd have to take a cut in pay. What's happening now is the people around the superintendent that report to him or her are earning more money than the superintendent, and so it's kind of a dead-end career path unless the competitiveness is there.
Now, I can hear some people in the public saying, well, we should lower their salaries.
Well, I can understand that, but I think most people don't appreciate that the school district in most communities is the largest employer, the biggest facility, feeds the most people in the town, more than the restaurants, buses more people in the local transportation system. It's a 24/7 hour job in terms of the schools being available to the community. And the school superintendent, really the person, the man or woman who's guiding all of that in the school district. It's a terribly complex job, and the credentials to even obtain the job are very, very significant to try to accomplish that.
We're out of time, so thank you very much, sir. Dr. Richard Bozza, Executive Director of the New Jersey Association of School Administrators. Jersey Matters continues right after this.